Welcome, everyone. Today, we're delving into one of Japan's most intriguing urban legends, the ghosts of Gunkanjima. Gunkanjima, officially known as Hashima Island, is located off the western coast of Nagasaki prefecture in southern Japan. The island's unique silhouette, resembling a battleship, earned it the nickname Gunkanjima, which literally translates to Battleship Island in Japanese. This small, now abandoned island is shrouded in mystery and countless eerie tales. To understand the ghostly legends of Gunkanjima, we must first explore its fascinating history. The island's story begins in 1810, when its existence was first officially recorded. However, it wasn't until 1887 that Gunkanjima truly came into the spotlight. That year, rich coal deposits were discovered beneath the island, setting the stage for its dramatic transformation. With the discovery of coal, Gunkanjima quickly became a symbol of Japan's rapid industrialization during the Meiji era. The Mitsubishi Corporation, now Mitsubishi Materials, purchased the island and began full-scale coal mining operations. Buildings sprang up one after another, and cutting-edge technology was introduced to maximize coal extraction. In 1916, a significant milestone was reached with the completion of Japan's first large-scale concrete apartment complex, Building No. 30. This structure would later contribute to the island's distinctive skyline, reinforcing its battleship appearance. As mining operations expanded, so did the island's population. At its peak in 1959, over 5,000 people lived on this tiny island of just 16 acres, 6.3 hectares, making it the most densely populated place on Earth at the time. The island was equipped with all the amenities of mainland living hospitals, schools, movie theaters, pachinko parlors, a type of gaming arcade popular in Japan, and even a hair salon. However, the prosperity was not to last. On January 15, 1974, Mitsubishi announced the closure of the mine, citing the decline of the coal industry. Within 3 months, by April 20th, all residents had left the island. Gunkanjima became a ghost town, frozen in time. Since then, Gunkanjima has stood as an eerie reminder of Japan's industrial past, its abandoned buildings, slowly crumbling under the relentless assault of wind and waves. But according to many, the island is far from empty. The memories of those who once called this place home seem to linger, manifesting in ways that have given birth to numerous ghost stories and urban legends. Now, let's explore some of the most famous ghostly tales associated with Gunkanjima. Remember, while these stories are fascinating, they are considered urban legends and should be enjoyed as entertaining folklore rather than historical fact. However, the line between fact and fiction can sometimes blur, especially in a place with such a rich and complex history as Gunkanjima. One of the most widespread stories involves the ghosts of former coal miners. During its operational years, the mines of Gunkanjima extended up to 1,000 meters below sea level. Working conditions were incredibly harsh, with high temperatures, humidity, and constant danger from cave-ins and toxic gases. Tragically, many workers lost their lives in these treacherous conditions. As a result, there are numerous reports of ghostly miners seen wandering the island. One former resident shared this chilling account. "I woke up in the middle of the night and looked out the window. I saw a man in work clothes quietly passing by. At first, I thought it was someone working the night shift, but when I looked closer, I realized his feet weren't touching the ground. He then passed right through the wall and disappeared." Another popular ghost story is known as the ghost of Building 13. Building 13 was once a dormitory for single workers. Legend has it that a young miner died in an accident in this building. Since then, people have reported seeing his figure appear in the windows at night. Interestingly, some visitors claim that when they take photos of Building 13, mysterious human-like shadows sometimes appear in the windows. Even though the building has long been abandoned, the island's schools are also said to be haunted. Gunkanjima once had both an elementary and a junior high school. Now in ruins, these school buildings are reportedly filled with the ghostly sounds of children's voices and laughter. A security guard once shared this experience in the dead of night. I heard faint voices of children coming from the empty school building. At first, I thought it was my imagination, but the sounds became clearer. I could hear footsteps moving from classroom to classroom, and even the school bell ringing. It was so eerie that I had to leave the area immediately. Some paranormal researchers suggest that these phenomena might be the result of residual energy or collective memories imprinted on the island. The rapid development and sudden abandonment of Gunkanjima, they argue, could have left a strong psychic imprint, occasionally manifesting as ghostly activity. However, it's important to note that there are also scientific explanations for many of these phenomena. The unique geography and architecture of the island create unusual effects, making the sound of waves or wind resemble human voices or footsteps. The low light conditions in the abandoned buildings can play tricks on human perception, causing people to see shapes or movements that aren't really there. As for the mysterious figures in photographs, these can often be attributed to camera artifacts, reflections, or pareidolia, the tendency of the human mind to perceive familiar patterns, such as faces, in random stimuli. Despite these rational explanations, many people still feel that there's something on Gunkanjima. Perhaps it's the island's unique atmosphere, or the weight of its history, that stimulates our imagination and makes us more receptive to the idea of the supernatural. It's worth noting that these ghost stories are not just tales of fear or horror. They often reflect the complex emotions associated with the island's history, the joys and sorrows, hopes and regrets of the people who once called this place home. In a way, these ghostly legends keep the memory of Gunkanjima and its former inhabitants alive. Now, let me share with you an original story inspired by the ghost legends of Gunkanjima. Remember, this is a work of fiction, created to capture the essence of the island's mysterious atmosphere and the emotions tied to its history. Our story begins with Masaki Sato, a 26-year-old novice documentary filmmaker. Masaki has undertaken an ambitious project, creating a documentary about the history and urban legends of Gunkanjima. Her interest in the island isn't purely professional, it's also deeply personal. Masaki's grandfather, Kenichi Sato, had worked on Gunkanjima in his youth. However, he passed away before Masaki was born, leaving her with only second-hand stories and a burning curiosity about the island that had shaped her family's history. Among her grandfather's belongings, Masaki had found a faded photograph. It showed a young Kenichi, smiling broadly with the island in the background. Every time she looked at this photo, Masaki felt a strange sensation, as if her grandfather was trying to tell her something from beyond the frame. It was this feeling that ultimately led Masaki to embark on her documentary project. After months of research and preparation, the day finally arrived for Masaki and her small crew to visit Gunkanjima. As their boat approached the island early one misty morning, Masaki felt a mixture of excitement and apprehension. The silhouette of Gunkanjima gradually emerged from the sea mist, its decaying concrete structures looming like the hull of a massive ship. It was easy to see how the island had earned its Battleship Island moniker. Stepping onto the island for the first time, Masaki was struck by an odd sensation. It felt as if someone was watching her. She turned around, but there was no one there. Just the sound of the waves and a faint whisper that might have been the wind. Or something else. Masaki shook off the feeling and focused on the task at hand. With her camera at the ready, she began to explore the island, capturing footage of the crumbling buildings, rusted machinery, and remnants of daily life left behind when the island was abandoned. As the day progressed, Masaki and her crew documented various locations around the island. The eerie silence of the abandoned apartment blocks, the hollow echoes in the empty school buildings, and the yawning darkness of the mine entrances. Each location seemed to hold its own stories, its own memories. As twilight approached, strange occurrences began to unfold. First, Masaki's camera started to malfunction, the screen flickering with unexplainable static. Occasional shadows seemed to flit across the frame. Masaki asked her crew to check their equipment, but their cameras were working fine. Then, Masaki began to hear a faint voice. At first, she dismissed it as the wind, but gradually it became clearer, more distinct. This way, come this way. The voice was warm, familiar, and seemed to be guiding her somewhere. Masaki found herself drawn away from her crew, following the mysterious voice. Before she knew it, she was standing in front of an unfamiliar building. The door was ajar, and a soft light emanated from within. With hesitation, Masaki pushed the door open. What she saw inside defied belief. The room appeared as if frozen in time, perfectly preserved from the day the island was abandoned. The furniture gleamed as if freshly polished, and the walls were adorned with vivid family photographs. On the table, a warm meal steamed, as if it had just been prepared. And there, in the corner of the room, sat an old man. He turned to Masaki with a gentle smile. "Welcome, Masaki," he said. Masaki gasped. The old man was her grandfather, Kenichi, looking exactly as he did in the old photograph she treasured. "Grandpa?" Masaki's voice trembled as she spoke. Kenichi's smile broadened. "We've been waiting for you, Masaki. We hoped you would come to help us, share the memories of this island with the next generation." Despite her confusion, Masaki found herself listening intently. As her grandfather began to speak, he told her about life on Gunkanjima, the camaraderie among the workers, the challenges they faced, and their deep attachment to the island. It was the true essence of Gunkanjima that Masaki had been seeking for her documentary. "But why me?" Masaki asked. Kenichi's eyes twinkled as he replied. "Because you can see the soul of this island, Masaki. Your sensitivity and your connection to this place have called us forth." Masaki began to understand that her documentary would be more than just a historical record. It would be a bridge, connecting the island's past with its future. Kenichi continued. "Masaki, this island holds many sad memories, it's true. But there was also hope here, and passion, and lives lived to the fullest. Make sure you convey both sides of our story." Masaki nodded, a look of determination in her eyes. Suddenly, she heard her crew calling for her from a distance. "Ms. Sato, where are you?" Masaki blinked, and in that instant, everything changed. She found herself standing alone in a dilapidated room. The warm scene she had just witnessed had vanished, along with her grandfather. But the warmth in her heart remained. Checking her camera, Masaki was surprised to find that the earlier static was gone. Instead, she had captured beautiful footage of the island, unlike anything she had consciously filmed. Taking a deep breath, Masaki rejoined her crew. They looked at her with concern, noting a change in her expression. "Ms. Sato, are you alright? You look different somehow." Masaki smiled. "I'm fine. Better than fine, actually. This island has taught me something important." As they left the island that evening, Masaki watched Gunkanjima recede into the distance. The setting sun bathed the abandoned structures in a golden light, making the island seem to glow from within. Masaki made a silent vow. She would tell the true story of this island, preserving the memories of those who had lived here for future generations. Her camera had become more than just a tool, it was now a mirror, reflecting the soul of Gunkanjima. Months later, Masaki's documentary, Island of Memories, The Soul of Gunkanjima, was completed. The film challenged the prevailing image of Gunkanjima. While it didn't shy away from the island's darker history, it also vividly portrayed the passion, hope, and deep affection of the people who had once called this place home. Through Masaki's lens, audiences saw a new side of Gunkanjima. They witnessed the traces of life amidst the ruins, the bonds forged between people living in harsh conditions, and the hope for the island's future. Particularly striking were the ethereal lights Masaki had captured all over the island. Rather than appearing as ghostly or supernatural, these lights seemed to embody the island's memories, exuding a warm and gentle presence. The documentary was met with widespread acclaim, touching the hearts of many viewers. It began to change the way people perceived Gunkanjima. No longer was it seen as just a crumbling ruin or a spooky ghost town, but as a testament to the lives of those who had supported Japan's modernization. Masaki herself grew tremendously through the creation of this documentary. Through her connection with Gunkanjima, she had confronted her own roots and discovered a new purpose. 5 years after the release of her documentary, we find Masaki back on Gunkanjima. This time, she's leading a workshop for young filmmakers, teaching them how to capture the true essence of historical places. Standing on the pier, Masaki's profile appears more dignified than it did 5 years ago. She gazes at the island, stretching out before her, and addresses the young participants. This island holds two kinds of history, the visible and the invisible. Your cameras have the power to capture both, but remember, the most important tool is the eye of your heart. The participants listen intently, captivated by the passion in Masaki's eyes. Now, let's go. Listen to the voices this island has to share with us. As Masaki takes her first step, a breeze sweeps past her. Turning back, she sees a soft light, seemingly emanating from the direction of the island, as if welcoming their visit. Masaki smiles softly at this sight. She knows that the memories of this island will continue to be passed down in various forms, and so, the story continues into the future. Gunkanjima has come to be known as the Island of Memories. Its past prosperity, decline, and subsequent rebirth have become a message for us. As we confront Japan's modernization, inspired by Masaki's documentary, new initiatives for the preservation and utilization of the island have begun. Some of the deteriorating buildings have been reinforced, using the latest technology and open to the public. These areas now host exhibits that allow visitors to experience what life on the island was once like. The most popular exhibit is a space called the Room of Memories. Upon entering this room, visitors are surrounded by projection, mapping that brings the daily life of the old island into vivid reality. Images of miners at work, children studying in school, and housewives going about their daily chores seem to float in the space like friendly ghosts. Many visitors are deeply moved by this exhibit. One visitor commented, "It felt as if I had stepped into the island's memories. I could almost feel the joys and hardships of the people who lived here." The waters surrounding the island have also become the site of a project aimed at protecting marine resources and promoting sustainable use. The island that once prospered through coal is now gaining attention as a research base for ocean energy. The floating wind turbines and wave power generation facilities installed around the island have become symbols of a new era, attracting much interest. A small number of people have even returned to live on the island to manage and operate these facilities. Every summer, the island hosts the Gunkanjima Memorial Festival. This event features exhibitions on the island's history, lectures by former residents, and workshops for young filmmakers started by Masaki. The highlight of the festival is the Ceremony of Light, held after sunset. All participants line up along the shore, holding lights directed towards the island. The sight is breathtaking, as if the entire island is being gently embraced by light. This ceremony is a gesture of respect for those who lived on the island, and an expression of hope for the future. The faces of those standing in the light are solemn yet filled with warmth. And at the end of the ceremony, a mysterious phenomenon always occurs. In addition to the lights held by the participants, tiny points of light begin to appear all over the island. It's as if the island itself is responding to the ceremony. People who witness this phenomenon interpret it in various ways. Some believe it's the work of ghosts, while others suggest it's merely a reflection of light. However, many believe that this is the manifestation of the island's memories taking physical form. Masaki quietly observes this scene every year. Sometimes, she feels as if she can see her grandfather standing beside her. And always, she hears a faint voice. "Well done, Masaki. The soul of this island will live on forever." Masaki smiles and responds to the voice. "Yes, Grandpa, as long as we're here, the memories of this island will never fade." Then she turns to address the younger generation. "This island still has many voices waiting to speak to us. Listen to those voices, and express what you hear in your own words." This is how we begin a new dialogue with the island. The young people nod, their eyes shining with the same curiosity and passion that Masaki once had. In this way, the new story of Gunkanjima is passed on to the next generation. The island has become a bridge connecting the past, present, and future. This place, once known as the Ghost Island, has now become a special existence where people's memories and hopes intersect. The ruins are no longer just relics of the past, but have become a treasure trove of lessons and possibilities for the future. And in the hearts of those who watch over the island, Gunkanjima will live on forever, not as ghosts, but as memories, not as objects of fear, but as objects of reverence. However, the story of Gunkanjima doesn't end here. The island continues to hold new mysteries and possibilities. One day, during preservation and restoration work on the island, an unexpected discovery was made. An old letter was found inside the wall of a dilapidated building. The letter was written just before the mine closed in 1974. The sender was one of the coal miners at the time, a man named Taro Yamada. The contents of the letter were astonishing. Yamada confessed that deep underground on the island, there was a huge cavern that no one else knew about. In this cavern, he claimed, lay valuable documents detailing the island's history and cutting-edge technology of the time. This discovery shocked Masaki and her team. If this were true, it could significantly rewrite the history of Gunkanjima. Masaki immediately formed an investigation team. She herself decided to take up her camera and tackle this new mystery. The investigation proved challenging. The tunnels, abandoned for years, were fraught with dangers and had to be navigated with extreme caution. However, Masaki and her team's passion never wavered. Then, a month into the investigation, they finally discovered the cavern mentioned in the letter. What they found there was truly a treasure trove. There were original blueprints, unpublished photographs, and surprisingly, documents related to environmental technology that seemed to anticipate the island's future. These discoveries shed new light on the history of Gunkanjima. It became clear that the island was not just a coal mining facility, but also a site of technological innovation with an eye to the future. This discovery attracted worldwide attention, and Gunkanjima once again found itself in the spotlight. Based on these new findings, Masaki began work on another documentary, titled Gunkanjima: A Legacy for the Future. This work comprehensively portrayed the island's past, present, and future. The completed work was screened at film festivals around the world and received high praise. Masaki's name became known globally as a documentary filmmaker. However, what made Masaki happiest was that through this work, even more people became interested in Gunkanjima and began to visit the island. Among the visitors were many descendants of those who once lived on the island. They were deeply moved as they overlaid the stories they had heard from their grandparents with the landscape before their eyes. One day, Masaki had the opportunity to speak with an elderly woman visiting the island. She had been a teacher on the island in the past. "You know," the old woman said, gazing into the distance, "I always felt that I had left a part of my soul on this island. But now, after seeing your work, I finally understand. Our souls continue to live on with this island." Masaki nodded deeply. Yes, the ghosts of Gunkanjima are not frightening entities. They are the memories of those who lived on this island, and the hope for the future. Today, Gunkanjima poses a question to us all. What can we learn from the past? What can we apply to the present? And what should we pass on to the future? The journey to find these answers has only just begun, and Masaki will continue this journey with her camera in hand, listening to the voice of the island. This concludes my creative story, Island of Memories. Through this narrative, I've attempted to portray Gunkanjima, not just as a set of ruins or a ghost spot, but as a special place where people's memories and hopes reside. The real Gunkanjima, like in this story, holds various possibilities. Certainly, there is a sad history there, but at the same time, it stands as a testament to the efforts and passion of the people who supported Japan's modernization. We can learn many things through Gunkanjima: lessons from the past, challenges of the present, and hope for the future. All of these are condensed into this small island. The ghost legends of Gunkanjima are not just scary stories. They might be the voices of the memories of those who lived on this island, speaking to us in the present in a changed form. To listen to these voices, to learn from them, that's up to each one of us. Thank you for listening to my creative story. The ghosts of Gunkanjima might be watching over visitors to the island, even at this very moment. They are not entities to be feared, but rather guardians of the island's history and memory. Next time, we'll explore another mysterious place in Japan. What enigmas await us, and what messages will these mysteries convey to us? Until then, goodbye, sweet dreams. But if you have a dream that feels too real, it might not be just a dream. Perhaps you, too, have become part of someone's precious memories. And finally, I'd like to leave you with one question to ponder. As we conclude today's story, what kind of memories do you want to engrave in your own life? And what message will these memories convey to someone in the future? As the ghosts of Gunkanjima have taught us, our lives too will become important messages for the future. Keep this in mind as you walk through your life from tomorrow onwards. We'll meet again next time. Goodbye for now. Now, let's take a moment to reflect on the broader implications of Gunkanjima's story. This island, with its rich history and haunting legends, serves as a microcosm of Japan's rapid industrialization and subsequent post-industrial challenges. It's a tangible reminder of the human cost of progress and the importance of preserving our historical heritage. The ghost stories of Gunkanjima, while fascinating, should be understood in their cultural context. In Japanese folklore, ghosts or yurei are often seen not as malevolent entities, but as spirits with unfinished business or strong emotional attachments to a place. This perspective allows us to view the alleged hauntings of Gunkanjima not as something to be feared, but as a poignant reminder of the lives lived and lost on the island. Moreover, the transformation of Gunkanjima from an abandoned ruin to a UNESCO World Heritage Site highlights the global recognition of its historical significance. This status has brought new challenges and opportunities, balancing the need for preservation with the increasing tourism interest. The island also serves as a stark reminder of the environmental impacts of intensive industrial activity. The process of reclaiming Gunkanjima and turning it into a symbol of sustainable development and historical preservation is a testament to humanity's capacity for reflection and renewal. As we conclude our exploration of Gunkanjima and its ghostly legends, it's worth considering how we approach similar sites around the world. Every abandoned place has its stories, its memories, and potentially, its ghosts. By listening to these stories with empathy and respect, we can gain valuable insights into our shared human experience. Remember, the next time you visit a historical site, take a moment to listen. Listen not just with your ears, but with your heart. You might just hear the whispers of the past, telling stories that bridge time and connect us all in the grand narrative of human history. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the heart of Gunkanjima's mysteries. Until next time, keep your mind open to the wonders that surround us, both seen and unseen. Goodbye, and may your own life story be one worth telling for generations to come.